The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Time to catch up with this extraordinary man who can do no wrong. First of all, he did breakfast radio for Nova in Melbourne. For a while. And not sure what happened there. And now, like we've seen him on the front bar, that kind of thing. But now he's got his own Tonight Show, which kicks off on Channel 10 on Monday night.
About time.
The one, the only Sam Pang. Hello, Sam.
Morning.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Sam, this is so exciting, mate. And you're certainly putting yourself out there because we've been talking about...
Well, Sean mostly has been saying how
shows.
none of these things work, is what Sean
Well,
said.
no, I said Rove, obviously. He dominated.
Cousin Rove, yeah.
Cousin Rove.
Yes, Sean. Yes, that was 200009 that he finished.
Yeah, I know.
So it's a long time ago, mate.
Yeah, I know. I haven't let it go, though.
So,
Probably still watching repeat.
did they come to you and say, we think it's time that there was a Tonight Show on TV again, or did you pitch it to them? How did it go?
Jeez, Nat, I think last year, because I've got a good relationship with Ben because they have been paying attention. So I think there was just natural discussions about is there anything else you'd like to do? And I said, well, I've always liked Tonight shows, and I think even though we haven't had one in the country for a while, everyone's pretty familiar with the format, but we just haven't had one. So I like the idea, and so the idea of doing one live on a Monday night is pretty exciting. So it's always something I've wanted to do, but you never think you're going to be able to do it. And I've been happy with Front Bar and having paying attention and the Logie. So this is just 8 weeks of fun and 8 Mondays, and we'll hopefully.
And then we'll all forget about it.
No, you're going to be great.
He will be great.
I can't think of anyone else that could do this job. Actually, Sam, I really can't. I reckon you'll be able to do a super job.
It's a bit weird though because all that we are seeing on free to air TV in the evenings these days is either maths or a football panel show. So will you at least talk about football a bit?
No. But they'll have a maths recap every Monday night. We're doing that.
Yes.
No, it's more a traditional, Tonight Show with the news of the weeks, and depending on who's around in town, guests or funny friends of mine. So it's more, I get to talk footy on the front bar, and so that's
you've covered that off.
Yeah, I get that fixed, but this is more, everything else.
So I imagine you do some practice shows. I saw some of the promos mentioning some of the feedback and stuff like that. Is there anything behind the scenes, like, the applause light screen thing that comes up, tell the crowd what to do? How do you train them? What do we know behind the scenes that we wouldn't see?
Well, they're not monkeys.
Aren't they?
It's exciting to be in front of a live studio audience. And we did a trial show a couple of weeks ago, which was, it was just good to just find out some stuff and get in the studio and see what, all the camera angles and all that. That's all boring stuff. But, on the night, it's like the audience is there and we'll be attempting comedy. And if they laugh, great. And hopefully people watch. But, it's, that's the best thing about live. You find out straight away.
Yeah, but Sam, straight away you get the feedback. You're going to be great. I've said that, and you will be.
We have no doubt.
But when I watched Rove back in the day, and I always lead by this, he did have someone to warm up the crowd when I used to go there. So you clearly must have someone, do you?
Yeah, both are like most. I think between have been paying attention and
yes,
okay,
everything.
Front bar,
the project,
do they?
Yeah, there's someone to warm up the crowd. So it's like I think wonderful stand-up comedians Ben Lomas and Danny McGinley are to work on those two shows, and then so that I'm sure we'll have someone on Monday night.
It'd be funny if you don't, and they're all just sitting there in stony silence, and you walk out.
Come on,
well, then
anyone?
That'll just be like that'll be just like Christmas then. You know what I mean? I don't need that again.
The obvious question when you've got a Tonight Show, there's a lot of things to consider, but one of the biggest players, of course, is the desk. Have you really? Did you do a lot of trying different desks? Did you get a committee in to design the desk? Talk to us about.
Went to Freedom, went to IKEA.
The desk.
Yeah, yes, me, I'm Mr. DIY.
Just a flat pack.
Yeah, I got it right. DIY. No, I reckon I looked at two desks and it was very, very It was very, very easy decision. It's like, yeah, that one's fine.
What
Like,
makes a good one? Is it the timber finish or, because have you gone classic? Have you got a dark mahogany or a lighter sort of beach? What have you gone with?
You won't believe this, Nat. I reckon I saw one, and I actually did have a note. I'm going, I think the wood could be slightly darker. And the guy goes, yeah, no worries, you can do that. I can't believe it.
You couldn't believe you're that person saying that.
Has nobody else asked you about the desk?
Yeah, no, real power. I think the chair's more important. I'm on a stool. It's going to be great.
Are you on a stool? Yeah,
No,
right.
I'm on a chair with a back, you know.
Okay, great. Great, because as a former chiropractor, I'm worried about your spinal health. So, yeah, no, that's great. We've got a lot of practical concerns.
I think for an hour, I don't think I think I'll be okay. But yeah, if the last segment I'm in traction, I think that's probably not right.
I mean, what a way to round it out. Yeah.
Sam,
Yeah, what a good.
I did go to Rove and I did see that warm-up guy.
Yeah.
But like the iconic segments, have you got your own version of what you're excited about?
Yeah, like a segment was like, hey, what?
How have I forgotten what this show is? You've asked me about the desk, the warm-up guy, and segments that Rove had.
At least it's about the show this time.
We're saying that Rove had segments. Have you come up with some cool segments with a catchy phrase?
Well, I think it's a good. You know what? It's in all seriousness, you don't tune into this show for the guests. In terms of this is not the Graham Norton show where there's three of the biggest celebrities in the world on a couch drinking wine. Like we're in Australia. Sometimes they're just not here. So there'll be lots of segments and there'll be lots of comedy and there'll be there'll be guests. But it's also not. I just want to lower everyone's expectations.
Ice Cube's still around. I've seen him everywhere.
Who's that?
Ice Cube. I've seen him everywhere.
No, he deliberately said who's that.
Exactly.
And Sam, obviously, you've got a big catchphrase at the end, like say hi to your dad for me or something like that.
Is that another Rove? It's just Rove. Are we just reviewing the best of Rove?
Maybe Nana.
Who's your Pete Hellier?
Say hi to your Nana for me. That would work.
Rove had a great catchphrase. I think mine will be more like just kneeling down and saying, "Please tune in next week.
Yes.
I've got a family." So, it would be, Rove was cool. I'll be more desperate. Like, hey, please tune in again next week. It'll be it won't be catchy.
We certainly will, Sam.
We love you, Sam. You know that, right? We say this with a lot of affection.
How amazing. My manager will be upset she didn't get a mention today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Nathan's
true.
away, so we'll make sure when he's back, he
next
picks
time.
you up.
Monday night, everybody, 8:40 on Channel 10 and 10 Play, of course. Sam Pang will debut his new Tonight Show, and check it out for The Desk Alone. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Nat. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it.
Love you, Wes.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Ross read the paper this morning in preparation.
I know, I'm a massive loser, and I did promise not to say that again.
But you found something.
I did. I read the paper this morning. If you guys weren't aware. I read this article, it just made me laugh. So the headline in the West Australian: keep that fart spray in your pocket. Good start.
No,
Good
well,
start.
that's
That gets
also
you in.
just solid life advice.
It is. A man who sprayed a chili substance called Satan spit inside a Bunnings store was just trying to cheer up a glum friend. But this is where it gets serious. A court has been told. Bail hearing in the district court, blah, 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 blah. He went to the Northam store last April and deployed the spray to lighten the mood and entertain a companion who was going through rough times.
Now, this is what he's saying in his defence.
Yeah, so this is in court. And then he said he also had a bottle of fart spray in his pocket, but did not deploy it.
So is he saying he meant to put the fart spray because that's funny?
Yeah.
But instead accidentally sprayed the
Satan spit.
the super capsicum spray. Essentially, that's what it must be.
I know, it doesn't sound as good though.
No,
Satan
Satan
spit.
But could Satan spit also cheer up a glum friend, is the question.
Well, no, because their eyes burn, and didn't a whole lot of people have to go to hospital?
The prank caused 15 people in the Bunnings store to cough and suffer burning pain to their eyes and nose, triggering an emergency response, including paramedics and police. So, not as fun once that happens. So
but I want to know, why is he carrying the Satan spit anyway? Like, what's that
where
for?
do you get Satan spit?
I don't know.
You get it from Satan?
Yeah,
So
of
this is in a Northam's Bunnings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Bunnings has said we lost $16,000 worth of take for the day.
Yeah.
And not to mention all the people that we had to send to hospital. So it was like $11,000 to $15,000 worth of hospital bills.
Yeah, so he's in court.
How's the glum friend? Has anybody checked on the glum friend?
There's no mention of the glum friend. Just the 15 injured customers at Bunnings. And
So now there's 16 glum people.
But do you see that he had good intentions? Like he was just trying to have a bit of fun?
I think the fart spray's fun. The Satan spit, that's a little bit more malicious.
I would suggest if you've got fart spray in one pocket and Satan's spit in the other, you need to know which one's which. You know what I mean?
I'm hearing you. You know what? The cops went back to his house and they found another thing of Satan's spit. So I don't know. He must have got some kind of a deal.
2 for 1.
2 for 1.
Great deal on Satan's spit.
2 for 1 on Satan's spit. Amazing.
Pranks can go wrong though. You know.
We want to know, did you have good intentions? Maybe you were just trying to cheer up your glum friend as well. And but the prank went a little bit awry.
Yeah.
Teresa's in Kenwick. Good morning, Teresa.
Hi, how you guys going?
Okay, now talk to us. What was the prank that went a bit wrong?
We're in year 12. It was a PDHD PE excursion for a week, and 7 girls, 1 boy. The boy decided to pull a prank on us, and he put all our bras out on top of the tent overnight, and they all froze overnight. And so we didn't have bras for the next day, so he found that really funny.
Yes.
But the next night we decided to get him back, and we put deep heat in all of his undies and put them back in his bag.
Teresa.
And, yeah, we thought it was going to be funny, but, yeah.
It
we
burned his
felt sorry
balls.
for him for a little bit, and then we had to endure him a week with no undies.
Yeah, I mean, that's the...
Frozen bras, I'd never heard of that, but that sounds like a good prank.
You've heard of cold as a witch's tit? I'm guessing that's what it is.
For the old Denker rub in the jocks, that's happened many a time at a footy club. Would it happen when you were there, Nat, when you were at the footy club?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was a trainer, Ross. Don't laugh. I was at a footy club. So
I thought that was a joke.
No, settle down. Can't strap an ankle like there's no tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So a lot of willies. But yes, the old Denker rub trick. But to put it in all his jocks so that then... he has no safe haven, if you know what I mean.
No.
That's rough.
That's a bit of... devil's spit would be another level of intenseness.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I don't know what's it feel like.
I don't know. Spicy.
Spicy. Thanks, Teresa. Maddie's in Warnborough. Hello.
G'day, how you going?
Good,
Good, Maddie.
Okay, so what was the prank that went wrong?
Yeah, so I was up on a work site and lovely hot day, and I come across a snake that had expired. And I thought it would be a pretty good idea to see how many people were frightened of the snake. So picked him up and took him into the lunchroom. And needless to say, there was a lot of screams from all the girls in the lunchroom, a couple of the boys. And the project manager was not too happy about that one. He was in the corner.
I'll tell you what, because...
Maddie. It's not a great decision. As somebody who hates snakes, it's not great decision making on your behalf.
Well, it's not the rubber snake that everyone throws around, is it?
No,
that was a real snake.
She was a real snake.
Oh, man.
I mean, it could have only been really funny if then you realised it wasn't actually dead. It was just resting and then it
got
bigger.
you.
Yeah.
That would have taken a bit of a turn.
That would have been
They would have
unbelievable.
been screaming. You're a horrible person, Maddie. Thank you.
Oh, that's pushing the
I'm not
friendship.
happy about that. Rebecca is in Ellenbrook. Good morning, Beck.
Good morning.
Okay, what was the prank that went a bit wrong, Beck?
So my brother's he's not a spring chicken anymore, so he's, late 50s, and his manager thought it'd be a bit funny to come behind him and sort of tap behind his knee.
Oh, that classic.
And my brother's gone down, and all fun and games at that time, and then he hasn't been able to get up the next morning. His leg was all swollen. Gone to the doctors. He's damaged his knee. So, workers' comp, his managers obviously got spoken to, saying that wasn't appropriate. And his manager goes, this is a joke, and trying to get out of it. And so he had about a month off, and then he thought his knee was all fine, signed off on his knee, saying, yep, I think it's all fine.
Good to go,
then good to go. And no, he can't walk. He's been off now for 5 months, and the insurance company's saying, well, we're not insuring you. You've signed off on it. Yep. And he goes, well, the doctor's meant to sign off, not my brother anyway.
Yes.
But they're saying because my brother's signed off on this and saying his knee's all fine, that he's all fine to go, so they're not insuring him.
Wow.
And the workers' comp or anything.
Yeah.
Less funny when workers' comp gets involved.
Yeah, when insurance starts denying your payment.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games, isn't it, until you've got to fill out that workers' comp form, and you've got to say, the manager's like, oh, yeah, that was me. Like, that's... Not ideal, Sean. Remember that.
Yeah.
For whatever you're thinking about doing in the moment.
Got to write that down.
Oh, thanks, Beck.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Ross, you shocked us all when you ordered a cappuccino this morning.
I shocked you, and you were really offended that I ordered cappuccino, and apparently it's not a man drink, and there's just a slight dusting of chocolate, and I think it's cool.
Well,
Ross.
our digital content manager, Sam, texted me. He's at home. He's working from home today. He said, "Tell Ross, congrats on coming out. Cappuccino, so brave, rainbow flag." So there's that. We've got some people from Pentanet in the building with us this morning. Come on, step up.
So they're all pointing at each other. Do we find
Christian
acceptable or not?
Are you pro cappuccino?
Look, unless you're going in and ordering for extra chocolate, can I get a bit more chocolate, a bit more?
With some marshmallows,
maybe pushing the limit a bit, but standard cappuccino, perfectly normal.
Get that man a cappuccino.
You're wrong as it turns out, Christian, because we put it to our good followers on Instagram. Is a cappuccino acceptable for a man? Yes is at 0%.
No, I'm going to change that right now.
Right here, look,
how many votes have we got? I believe you.
No is at 33%, and or it's basically a baby chino is at 67%. So they're not saying you're not manly; they're just saying you're a baby.
Okay. Well, it is yes 62%, no 19%. Basically, baby chino 19%. So I put my vote in.
No, I don't think that's true.
I do.
I'll vote for you.
Thanks, Johnny.
The people have spoken, Ross.
No, keep speaking. Our socials.
Have your say.
There's a hot chocolate just arriving for you now.
Bring it over here.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Ross, you've witnessed firsthand now, Sean, just launching about this whole swim debacle, the filth that the West Coast Eagles team recruited. Dean Peters, who is a life member of the West Coast Eagles, worked for the club for 10 years.
Congratulations on him.
He
That's
qualifies to represent the West Coast Eagles in a team event.
No, he doesn't. Not at all, because he's not a past player, because that's what the rules and regulations say. And Sports Integrity Australia have contacted me, and they agree.
Where are the rules and regulations written?
Somewhere in the sand in front of the Pokerans.
He is fired up. I thought it'd be light-hearted stuff.
He's
but
so
you can't. If you're competing against somebody and you roll in an Olympian, give me strength.
Yeah, well, why didn't haven't the Dockers ever hired an Olympian to work for them?
Because Brianna Throsser wouldn't return my call. That's the reason.
Oh, too funny. But the art of a ring-in. It's the way to go.
You say ring in, I say cheating, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, they've just recruited well, is what you call it cheating. I say they recruited well. Years ago, a friend of mine, so she actually worked for me when I had my car clinic. She was my receptionist and ran the office and everything. She did a great job. But she was also a very good touch footy player. She's very quick, And so her husband worked in real estate, and there was some big corporate touch footy thing, and so he was a good player too. So he got called into play, but they needed more girls, obviously, because it was a mixed thing. And so they're like, "Oh, can you play?" And she's like, "But I don't work." And they said, "We'll just say that you work for this," and said the name of the real estate, and you'll just say that you work for us. And then they won the tournament because she was so much better than all the other girls because she played regular. Like she was a very high level, really good player. And everyone else has just had Kathy from reception, and she's like just absolutely dominating.
Was there a prize involved in that one?
There was. It was one of those big corporate days, where all the businesses, go in and there's prizes and prize money and stuff. Yeah,
that's cheating.
It doesn't always happen in sport either, because there's quiz nights and stuff. There's ring-ins that come from it. Oh, yeah, it's my sister's.
I would say there's more on the line in a quiz night than there is in this bloody swim to rot now.
No, there's not. There's a cup, mate. There's a cup.
A cup?
There's a trophy. Full on.
Yeah, but you get like jugs of beer at quiz nights. We've got a ring in today, Ross.
Hello.
Hey, Ross. You're a great ringer, Ross.
Jeff's in Forestville. Morning, Jeff.
G'day, how are you, fellas?
Good, Jeff.
Talk to us about the ring-in sitch.
I think it's good recruiting by myself, but we were involved with touch rugby as well over here.
Yes.
And I used to be assistant coach for the state men's team.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nice.
So every time we'd get a bunch of Kiwis mob would put a competition up probably every year or two, twice a year maybe, $1,500 prize money. So
yes.
Yeah.
Of course I would grab two of the state players anytime. every time we played, and we took their money every time. And after about the third or fourth time, they banned us. They banned us from putting the team in.
You just stacked it full of really good players because you had those contacts.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no, we flogged them. We flogged them big time.
Down at Tompkins Park, not far from us,
yes,
Natalie, they've got the
yes,
touch
that's where
rugby
my
there,
friend
right?
used to play.
Oh,
yeah.
So I always see these bunch of Kiwis down there. They're always training on the weekend, and we've played against them once or twice. They are lightning.
Yes.
You don't see where they're going. They do one step and they're gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's like, see ya, sucker. Thanks, Jeff. Tracy's in East Freo. Morning, Trace.
Good morning.
Hey,
All right,
Trace.
Trace, talk to us about a ring-in. What happened?
Okay, so a few years ago now, when Subiaco Stadium was still in play, I participated in a 4-week HBF Health Challenge, and part of that was playing a game of AFL 9 at Subi Stadium for an evening.
Nice.
Yeah, and I happened to work with a fellow who was a supreme athlete, played cricket for Australia, and happened to play football for West Perth, so we roped him into the team and had somewhat of an unfair advantage, but yeah, we smashed the game. I don't think he quite got the rules of no contact because he did take a couple of screamers and caused a bit of a blood nose, but we won.
He kept getting the girls and slamming them into the ground. And have you played in nines? You've talked about nines before.
I played a couple of games, but
bit of running, I imagine.
Yeah, but everyone just gets together at the end and just has a couple of cans. I wanted to play this Barley Nines that was going on, and I had this idea that I'd play there. But one day they put in a team, and I think it was a Wayne Carey, Richard Champion. There was all these AFL guys, and they took the competition out. And they were proper. I mean, Wayne Carey's noted as being the best player that's ever played in some ranks.
Yeah.
So no one had a chance.
When I worked as a trainer, we were talking about that before. The club this is in Melbourne, and the club that I worked for had a Super Rules team, which is the over 35s, I think.
Yeah, it is.
And for 2 games only, they got the greatest ring-in of all time, and we talked about him off air today. Bruce Dool. Dool came down and played 2 games for this Super Rule team. And the crowd, so this is obviously the Flying Doormat, one of the greatest players to ever play for Carlton. Incredible. He had the headband, the bald head and the long stringy hair.
Massive beard.
Yeah, massive beard. The quietest, politest man you will ever meet. He ran a news agency in the neighbourhood, and somebody knew him and said, do you want to come down and play? He was so much better than everybody. He took an absolute screamer in the first 5 minutes that the crowd, there's probably 2,000 people came down to see him play. The crowd went mental. You've never seen anything like it. It was amazing. And then he played 2 games, and then he took his headband off and went back to selling magazines.
Funnily enough, when we spoke to Sam Pang earlier on, he was wearing a hat that said Dool on it.
Yeah, because of course he's a mad Carlton fan. Yeah.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.